Very, very difficult one, not easy one. Then when you study this lecture, then you understand it is not easy to control your person. Very, very difficult one. Now, the most important method to control your person is to prevent formation of protein or reduce their emission at source. Either you either you prevent formation of proteins or you reduce their emission at source. Best is to
Sir,
reduce
full
the
page view
emission
गर्नु न
at source. Huh?
full page view
Full page view किन चाहिएको तिमीलाई हेट फुल पेज भ्यू गर्दाखेरि फेरि ऊ हुन्छ फेरि भयो The most important method to control your pollution is either prevention of the formation of pollutants or to reduce their emission at source. Then you can do prevention. Prevent in more amount is difficult one, and most of the industry will do this one to reduce their emission. Then some of the industrial processes may modify so as to minimize the extent of pollution. Then it can be done as follow: reduction of consumption of fossil fuel. Then the use of fossil fuel should be decreased. Number second is better design of the equipment in industry to reduce emission and removal of pollutants from exhausted and gases. Then by the three way we can control pollution. The completely we can't control pollution, but we can reduce the emission of pollutants at source. Then for that, then the the industry should fit the following type of instrument. Number one is gravity settler, and the gravity settler is applied for the removal of larger particulate matter. If particulate matter are larger, then this instrument has been applied. This instrument is based on the principal gravitational forces. Then, in this case, settling of heavy particles to hopper. Hopper means lower part of that instrument, and lower part of that is known as hopper. When you pass dirty gas mixed with the potent, then on passing into this instrument, the larger particle being heavier, and due to gravitational force, they will settle down at the bottom of the uh, machine, the equipment called hopper, and collected heavy particle matter collected at the bottom of the equipment has been regular, have been removed regularly, and after that, clean gas, the gas free from larger particle matter can be removed in this way. On passing, then during the passing of the the polluted air, the larger particle being heavier, and that will go on the basis of the equipment known as hopper. Then accumulated heavy particle at the hopper can be removed at regular interval in this way. And this is only applicable for the removal of large particulate matter. Number second is cyclone collector, and this is also used to remove the particulate matter, and most efficient for the removal of large particle of size ranging 5 to 20 micrometer. And this is used to remove the particulate matter having size 5 to 20 micrometer, and that includes smoke and dust particle. And this equipment is based on the working principle of that is on the basis of centrifugal force. Then I will show the equipment like that, and that contain the gas is contaminated with the particulate matter, pass into tight circular fitted chamber. This is known as circular fitted chamber, and on passing due to effect of centrifugal force, and this part is moved by external force. The string circular spiral is moved by means of external force, and on motion, then effect of centrifugal force, the dispersed particle forced to move away from gas and pass to the wall of chamber, and strike on the wall of chamber. On striking the wall of chamber, they will come down at the bottom part of this cyclone collector, and the collected particulate matter at the bottom can be removed from this outlet. And this is uh, based on the centrifugal force. And when you pass the gas cell coated with particulate matter, then due to centrifugal forces, this part is moved in this way, moved by force. And when this part is moved, the dispersed particle move away from gas and strike on the wall of chamber. And after striking on the wall of chamber, they will collect at the bottom of this chamber, and the accumulated particle matter at the bottom can be removed from this outlet. And next is the fabric filter. And this also is used for removal of the solid particulate matter. And this filter contains generally cotton, wool, nylon, dacron, or coated glass coat. And that should be fitted in the equipment. And from this fabric filter, then we can remove only solid, small solid particle. And next is electrostatic precipitator, known in simple form is called ESP. And this is the most effective method to remove particulate matter from in oil refineries, cement industries, paper industries, and power plant. That should be fitted in industry. And this device will remove the particulate matter emitted in different industries like oil refineries, cement industry, and power plant. And that is based on the principle that the particular matter acquires charges when subjected to electric field. Electric field is incited by using electrode. Then how it are fitted, then I will show in this case. And this is the electrostatic precipitator. And gas is passed through this inlet, and this is fitted with the large number of pointed electrode, and that pointed electrode is able to ionize the particle matter, then and that will create the strong magnetic field. A suspended particle charged by electric field, and after charging, then they will migrate to collection plate, and collection plates are not shown, and accumulated particle matter removed from the collection plate at periodic interval by hitting small hammer. This part, this part will be hit by small hammer, and after hitting, then the collected particle at the collection plate are dropped down on the bottom of that machine, and then accumulated particle matter from the bottom should be removed at regular interval. And this type of devices has been used to remove smoke particle, carbon particle from smoke, and that should be fitted in the chimney. And this device is applied to remove carbon particle present in smoke. Smoke contains negatively charged particle, carbon particle in air. Before passing smoke into chimney, it should be sent to this devices, and that device is fitted with the high voltage current as shown in figure. And under influence of strong electric field, smoke particles get robbed. Small particle will be discharged. Then they will precipitate and settle down at the bottom of this device, and the collected particle matter at the bottom can be removed at regular interval from time to time. And this is only so that should be fitted fitted in such a way that then first the, the release gas should pass into this devices, then to chimney. Then before passing the smoke into chimney, that's first pass into electrostatic precipitation. That will remove the particle matter present in the smoke. Smoke mainly contains carbon, and carbon is negative charge particle. And on the influence of this electric field, then the carbon particle will be chargeless, and they will settle at the bottom of the devices and collect it particle matter at the bottom can be removed at a regular interval. And next is the waste scrubber, and that device uses liquid to remove particle matter or gases from exhaust. And particle matter are captured by liquid, and when moistened, then they become heavier. Then they will go down at the bottom of that devices. The advantage of the scrubber is they can be used to remove gases as well as particle potent. They also serve for cooling the machine as liquid absorbents are used. Since liquids have been used, then machine will be cool in this process, and the liquid will moisten the particulate matter present in the air, and after moistening, then they will come down at the bottom of cement. And I will show. Oh, what? And the simple diagram is shown in this case. Then from this inlet, then gas pass and gas go up, and from top liquid are spread on spreading, then particular matter present will be moistened and come down at the bottom of that debris. And if the particle matter contains the acidic particle, then they are neutralized by calcium hydroxide. In this way, this this device is fitted with the large amount of calcium hydroxide, and the main function of that calcium hydroxide is to neutralize the acidic basic particle. And diagram is shown as follows: liquid spray from the top, and carbonic gas from this inlet, and pure gas will come out in this way. In this way, liquid reservoir. In this, the clear diagram for that is simple diagram. Then you can write down such diagram in the examination, not this one. And the diagram is very difficult to write down. And main function is to remove acidic particle matter. And main function is to moisten the particle matter present in the air. After moistening, they will be heavier and they will come down at the bottom of the devices, and collected particle matter at the bottom can be removed as in previous devices. And next is how to remove sulfur dioxide and acid fume present in the gases. And the condensate gas is passed through a bed of slaked lime or ammonia or active carbon. And when you pass through slaked lime in calcium hydroxide, that is basic indicator, react with sulfur dioxide and change into calcium sulfate and water. Then in same way, when you pass to ammonium hydroxide, being basic, react with the sulfur dioxide and change into ammonium sulfate. These salts are insoluble, and insoluble particle can be removed easily by means of filtration. Then the gases are changed into insoluble particle on treatment with the slaked lime, calcium hydroxide or ammonia, or we can use activated carbon. And activated carbon can also remove the acid fume and so to gas. Then I will show the diagram of activated carbon as that. Then activated carbon means carbonous materials with well-defined pore. Then pores, more pores are there. More micropore means small pore, middle pore means medium pore, and macropore means large pore. And through macropore, then gas will pass into this activated carbon. And this is the detailed diagram for the activated carbon that contains large number of pores, small, medium, and large pore. And that is based on the principle that then the solid particle or gaseous particle will accumulate on the surface of that pores. And this is based on the surface area, and there are more surface area, then more particles or gases will adsorb. Adsorb means accumulation at the surface of solid particle, means adsorption. When substance will get more pores, then more pores mean more surface area, and gases will adsorb on the surface of pores. Next is how to remove sulfur dioxide and H2S gas together. And closed process has been applied to remove SO2 gas and hydrogen sulfide. At low temperature, then H2S gas reacts with oxygen and change into water and sulfur dioxide. And SO2 gas form At higher temperature, a foam can be removed at high temperature. Together, H2S gas react with sulfur dioxide gas and change into water and sulfur. Sulfur is solid from water. In this way, then both the harmful gas change into less harmful substances, sulfur. In this way, from closed process, then hydrogen sulfide gas and its can be removed in combined form at low temperature, then H2S gas change to sulfur dioxide gas, then at high temperature, then H2S gas and hydrogen sulfide gas change into less harmful substances as shown, water and sulfur. And next process is to removal of the air pollutants is zoning. Zoning means the industry should be established away from the residential area. And where we do with that, then that will facilitate the extent of your pollutants. And due to on-plan industrial license, the effect of air pollution become more serious about that. For example, in Balajo industrial state and Path industrial state, then nearby that state, there are so many houses, so many buildings, so that will make then the person residing in these places will be suffer from high amount of your pollutants. Then the building and the home should be established away from the industrial area. So there should be specific buffer zone between industrial area and domestic area, and suitable buffer zone between industrial units and residential units to facilitate the direction of your pollutants. Then industrial side should be 50 kilometers away from the residential side. In European countries, in Thailand, industry are very far from the residential area. And when industry and residential are far, then that will dilute the extent of your pollutant. And how to remove the oxide of nitrogen? The same process, spraying the hydrogen peroxide solution. Hydrogen peroxide solution is sprayed on the polluted gas, and in this process, liquid is then separated from the gas stream. And in this process, nitric acid, when formed, is utilized with potassium hydroxide. The process is not easy one. The process is difficult one. First, the polluted gas is sprayed with hydrogen peroxide. Then on spraying, the liquid form separated from the gas, and the liquid contain nitric acid, and that the liquid can be utilized by potassium hydroxide. Chemicals should be used in this case. So the removal of pollutants, air pollutants from gases, not easy one. And next is the water pollution. The what do we mean by water pollution? Then if water, any modification in physical, chemical, and biological properties of water due to action of any foreign substances mean foreign substances that will cause harmful effect to living thing. If water is red, not not potable. If water is contaminated with the microbes like amoeba or other germs, not potable. If water mixed with the chemical like lead, nickel, iron, not potable. In this way, and due to this, then change in physical, change in chemical, and change in biological properties. And when that happens, the water is not suitable for drinking, and it is due to by action of the foreign substances. And these foreign substances are known as water pollutants when these substances are added into water, and that water will cause harmful effect to living things. This is known as water pollution. Is caused by change in physical, chemical, biological properties. How? Due to action of the foreign substances. Some substances include so many cases, microbe, chemicals, or undissolved solid particles, mean foreign particle. When they are mixed with water, the water is not potable. Means that will not appropriate for drinking purposes. And when you drink that water, that will cause different type of harmful effect to not only human being but also plants, etc. And plants and environment also. And types of water pollution is mainly on basis the surface water pollution means the water present at the surface are ported. How ported? Water resources at surface as stream, river, sea, ocean, contaminate with dissolved and suspended impurities. Dissolved means not seen. Suspended means we can see that suspended means undissolved substances. And for example, tannery, the rivers of Kathmandu Valley has been polluted by tannery, shoe factory, shoe factory and dye industry. Dye industry will release large amount of colored material, and shoe industry will release large amount of pollutant that includes chromium. And in this way, the rivers of Valley have been polluted by industry like mainly by tannery or dye factory. In Toy regions, the river Narayani and Orai rivers have been polluted by paper mills. Different chemicals are used in paper industry, and after 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 working in the paper industry, then large amount of chemicals are released directly into rivers like Narayani and river. Narayani and Orai river means. Then types of portion, water portion continued. Then next is the groundwater portion. The water sources at underground, known as groundwater portion. The water sources under the ground due to mixing of drainage, wastage from septic tanks. The matrix from land surface can move through soil. First, move into soil, then end up into groundwater. And fertilizer, pesticide, livestock, cause this type of portion. Then first they enter into soil, then into groundwater. Road salt, toxic substances from mining site, and the used motor oil slowly seep into the groundwater. And toxic chemical from underground storage tank, landfill contaminate groundwater. In this way, groundwater has been polluted by flowing ways. And next is the type of water portion again continues. The surface water portion has been classified on the basis of their origin. Number one is how the water source at the surface is ported. Then that has been classified in two types on the basis of origin. For example, number one is point source portion, mean PSP. In point source portion, the contaminant enters into water source from discrete way, from pipe or dish. If the water sources are surface polluted by pipe or dish, this means then the narrow channel dug at the side of road or field, this is called pipe, this is called bill. But when the water resources at surface polluted either by dish or pipe, known as point source portion. Number second is non-point source portion. In this case, the contaminant enters into water sources from multiple sources over large area. For example, rainwater moved from agricultural land, industrial site, parking lots, timber operation, escaping gases from pipe and fitting. For example, then the vehicles have been parked on the road, and from vehicles oils are spilled out, and this oil will be moved, washed away by rainwater, and that will pass into the surface sources like river in this way, and then rainwater will wash away the pollutants, and they will pass into the sources of water at surface. This way, water runoff means water pass from the land. In this way, and second picture also shows the main source of pollutant from water, which is washed away by rain. And main sources of water pollution. How water pollution occurs? Industrial effluent. And industrial effluent means the release of industry, the pollutant released from industry, both that contains organic and inorganic pollutants from paper industry, pulp industry, dairy industry, and these pollutants contain metallic waste, oil, acid, salt, GT, and cyanide. In this way, industry will release different type of organic and inorganic pollutants into the water sources, and that will give different type of chemical. And petroleum oil also source water person. Then petroleum oil used for what purpose? Petroleum oil have been used as fuel and lubricant, and they are discharged by accidental spill from ship, truck, pipeline, and some vehicle running from the from running running on the street. And next, the liquid of underground storage tank. And when the animal use that type of water, then this type of water damage feeder of bird and fur of animal. Human being when use the alkaline water, that will cause stomachic problem. And next again, sources of water pollution, sewage and other wastage from domestic and industrial side, that will accumulate. When these wastes accumulated, that will deplete oxygen level in the water. And oxygen level when deplete, that's the growth of algae. And when we drink such type of water, then we have suffered from the water bodies like cholera, dysentery, diarrhea, and typhoid. In case of water animal, then oxygen level when lower, then aquatic animal will die. कारण कुनै पनि पोखरीमा फल लाग्दाखेरि के हुन्छ, अक्सिजन लेभल कम हुन्छ, अल्गी ग्रो हुन्छ, अनि के भन्छ त्यो भनेदेखि एक्वाटिक एनिमल चाहिँ मर्ने हुन्छ. यस कारण देन एग्रिकल्चर डिस्चार्जेस द सोर्सेस अगेन द केमिकल लाइक pesticide, insecticide, fertilizer have been used in agricultural line. They are toxic, and these chemicals are washed away, then contaminate other sources in this way. Surface runoff. In surfaces, then parking have been done. Correct? And on parking, the solid wastage, oil, greases, and other chemical washed away by rainwater, and they contaminate the water sources. In this way, surface means the moving from surface. Now, effect of water pollution is effect on ecosystem, effect on human health, effect on animal health, effect on plant. There are so much effect of water pollution on ecosystem, on human health. Now, one by one, effect of water pollution, the effect on water ecosystem, how the being severely changed or destroyed by water pollution. Then damage to food chain when water contain toxic substance present and they are transferred to higher level organism to food chain. Little fishes eat by tiny organic particle. Then big fish eat tiny fishes, and tiny fishes or fishes will be eaten by human being. And on in this way, food chain have been affected by water pollutants. First, they go to little fishes, then large fishes, and large fishes will be used as protein, source of protein by human. So when such contaminated fishes have been taken as source of protein, then human will be affected by different type of diseases. And again, effect of ecosystem again, many pollutants accumulate and they decompose quickly, and that will pollute soil. Then they settle at the bottom of river, and then eaten by insect larvae. And insect larvae taken by food, as food by fish, and fish as food by bird, animal, human being. And when these infected creature has been taken by human being or animal, they will be infected. And bill of pollutants at higher level of food chain is known as biomagnification, means the building of pollutants at higher level of food chain known as biomagnification. And lower level oxygen in river and lake. And due to biopollution, the oxygen level in river, lake will be low, and that will cause of the disappearance of the native organism. Then major cause of extinction of indigenous organisms mean native organisms only found in Nepal, and these organisms will be lost by water pollution due to low level of oxygen. The effect, water pollution kills life that inhabit water-based ecosystem and disrupting the natural food chain and ground and supported contaminate if with heavy metals like lead, nickel, cadmium, copper, organic pollutants. Then the water sources at ground surface water have been polluted by these type of chemicals. These chemicals are very dangerous one and direct effect, then I'll discuss in the next slide, and cause flooding due to accumulation of solid wastage and soil erosion in the stream and river. When solid particles, solid wastage deposit on the water bodies, then the level of water will be higher, volume will be higher. Then when volume is higher, then that will cause flooding in sea and river. And this effect on human being, blue baby syndrome in infant due to deficiency of oxygen, nitrate. When nitrate consumption is more, then the child has been blued, has been affected by blue belly, and in this case, the whole part of body is seen into blue form, and due to deficiency of oxygen and due to nitrate consumption. If nitrate contain water, then if the baby use that the whole body will be slowly blue. And in human being, cholera, typhoid, diarrhea, dysentery due to contamination of wastage microbe. Then eroding of teeth, damage to spinal cord. If water contains excess fluoride when more in water, that will make your teeth yellow and that will damage the spinal cord. And excess fluoride will make the teeth yellow and that will damage the spinal cord. And in human being, damage of liver, nervous system, vascular and skin disease due to arsenic when present that will cause liver damage, arsenic poisoning. Arsenic poisoning will cause disturbance in skin and vascular and skin disease will be appear in the human being due to arsenic poisoning. And nitrate, when nitrate content is in water, that will cause digestive tract cancer if that is there, and lung cancer, also in gastrointestinal tract due to arsenic contamination. Arsenic contamination is mainly caused by is arsenic contamination is responsible for lung cancer, ulcer, and the ulcer in the gastrointestinal tract. Then mercury poisoning will cause neurological disorder and high BP, kidney problem, weakening of bone due to lead poisoning. Lead, if contain water, then that will create the weakening of bone. यसरी के भनेदेखि यो लेड धेरै भएको पानी खाए पनि अलिकति छुके पनि के भने हड्डीहरू फाट्ने हुन्छ. Then if water contain cadmium, and that will cause diarrhea, kidney cyst, bone deformation, chain of bone, breaking of bone due to cadmium consumption, and impaired of hearing, speech, सुन्ने काम पनि खत्म हुन्छ, स्पिच बोल्ने काम पनि बिस्तारै खत्म हुन्छ, भिजन हुन्छ, चेविङ के भनेदेखि यो के भनेदेखि निल्ने काम पनि खत्म हुन्छ, के भनेदेखि यो मर्करी पोइजन भएपछि यस्तो चाहिँ कुरा हुन्छ. अनि इटाइटाइड भनेको एकदम आओस् आओस् भन्ने के भनेदेखि यो जापानमा देखेको थियो इन 1960 मा. And due to the poisoning of cadmium that will appear due to softening of bone in case of in body. When cadmium is contaminated, then itai means house problem that has been seen in 1960 due to poisoning of cadmium in water. And damage of liver, kidney, easy bone fracture due to again this is called cadmium, arsenic poisoning. Arsenic भयो भने यस्तो हुन्छ, हेर यस्तो यस्तो चाहिँ बडीमा यस्तो दागो देखिन्छ, हेर यस्तो के भने स्किनमा चाहिँ यस्तो चाहिँ दागो देखिन्छ है. एन्ड चिकन अफ स्किन चिकन हुन्छ, डिस्कलेसन अफ स्किन, स्मल कर्न अर वार्ड अन के भने मुसा आउने के भने बडीको हरेक ठाउँमा सिम्पल मसला आउने यो कारण चाहिँ यो सोरहरू आउने कारण आर्सेनिक यो भन्ने कुरा आज आर्सेनिक खाएर आउने होइन भोलि आउने आफ्टर लङ रन आफ्टर 2-3-4 इयर्स पछि देखा पर्छ के भन्ने कहिले पनि यो यो तराईमा हुन्छ यस्तो आर्सेनिक पानी है त्यो के भने बोर्डिङ गएको पानी धेरै पल्ट खायो भने एकपल्ट खायो भने के हुन्न तर लङ रन खाएपछि द्याट विल इफेक्ट आर्सेनिकको एमाउन्ट बडीमा के भनेदेखि जुन हुनुपर्ने भन्दा धेरै भयो भनेदेखि आर्सेनिक WHO गाइडलाइनले तोकेको छ है त्यो लेभल भन्दा बढी भएपछि द्याट स्लोली सोज द्याट टाइप अफ डिजिज एट चिल्ड्रेनमा हेर्नुहोस् यो स्मल सोच कम हुन्छ हियरिङ लस अनि लर्निङ गर्ने एबिलिटी कम हुन्छ बोन मसलको वेट कम हुन्छ ड्यामेज एनेमिया हुन्छ किडनी ड्यामेज हुन्छ किनभने दिस अल कज वाटर पोर्सन अब अर्को आग यो 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 चाहिँ नि इटाइ भन्ने यस्तो 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 बोनमा समस्या केले क्याडमियमले गरेको पनि यहाँ यस्तो भयो बोनको ग्रोथ राम्रो हुन्न अनि बोन चाहिँ के भने बोन ग्रोथ is not well and name out condition that has been appeared in Japan in 1962 when and rice accumulated high level cadmium the rice then the people have taken rice with the cadmium Minamita caused by mercury pine vapor कस्तो हुन्छ हेड कस्तो चाहिँ यहाँ हेर हात चलाउन गाह्रो हुन्छ यहाँ हेर मान्छेको ब्रेन सिम्पटम अफ द्याट सिम्पटम इन्क्लुड एटाक्सिया भन्ने कि नर्भ सिस्टम चाहिँ नि काम गर्न ब्लड यो स्पिच गर्दाखेरि बोली नबोल्ने हुन्छ अनि के भनेदेखि यो हातहरू कता के चलाउन गाह्रो हुन्छ यसकारण हियरिङ गर्ने पनि द जनरल मसल विकनेस narrowing of the field of vision damage of hearing and speech हेयर गर्ने के भने सुन्ने शक्ति कम हुन्छ किनभनेदेखि वाटरमा मर्करी पर्यो भनेदेखि देन दिस इज कल मिनामाटा डिजिज यसले गर्दाखेरि के भनेदेखि यो के भने राम्रोसँग बोल्न आउन्न सुन्न आउँदैन अनि बोल्न आउन्न अनि बोन पनि के हुन्छ यो बोन पनि विक हुन्छ मसल विक हुन्छ अनि के भने हात पनि चलाउन गाह्रो हुन्छ यसकारण चाहिँ दिस इज कज बाइ वाटर पोर्सन and next is an effect on animal kill the life that depends on water bodies fish or मर्दा चाहिँ water portion ले गर्दाखेरि fish मर्दा हुन्छ यहाँ यो मान्छेले मरेको fish को fishes and animals poisoned by industrial chemical and agricultural pesticide agriculture मा युज गर्ने पेस्टिसाइडहरुलाई युज गर्दाखेरि यसले गर्दाखेरि यो के भने बिस्तारै soil मा जान्छ soil to water मा जान्छ then animals are killed in this way अनि यहाँ के भनेदेखि यो हाँसलाई affected by contaminate with oil contaminated water मा हातमा भने हाँसको लाइफ पनि कम हुन्छ यसकारण चाहिँ dead water portion will decrease the system in the aquatic animal fishes dolphin other organisms are killed by water portion and plant मा के हुन्छ acid of soil make the effect of solubility of nutrient like magnesium, calcium, potassium, iron deep when soluble less and they are not taken by plant and this is caused by acid of soil make the effect of solubility of nutrient like and these nutrients are useful for the plant but these nutrients can be taken up by plant when they are soluble and when soil becomes acidic and the solubility of these nutrient will be lower then plant will not able to take this chemical directly and disruption of the flora and fauna in water due to disruption of photosynthesis breaking bubbles given flora and fauna not growth and effect on the growth of plant due to excessive NaCl derivatives then that will affect the growth of plant excessive chemical excessive and loss of fertility of soil due to deposit of the harmful chemical fertility of soil harmful chemical when deposited on the land and that will cause loss of fertility of soil then when soil not fertile well then plan person will be less. That's all for today. Then I will send this slide to share. Either I will upload the slide of this PowerPoint in file. यो फाइललाई मैले हालिदिन्छु after 1 minute. Okay. Hello.
Okay, sir.
Right? Okay, you can download the file from the your